I like to think of myself as a bit of a know-it-all. Not in a bad way necessarily, but I like to think that I know how to play a game like Banished, and for the most part I do. But I'm concerned. I'm really concerned about the fact that we don't have that many logs. I'm really concerned about the fact that we don't have that much firewood. And I'm so concerned, in fact, that I've spent the last few hours going through different Reddit threads from the last 10 years, different Steam forum posts from the last 10 years, just looking for solutions to all of my problems. And it's interesting. It's interesting because so many of these threads tend to end in the same way, which is someone going, well, actually, if you install a mod, you can get 4 times the resources from trees and rocks and just about everything. And I don't want to do that. I like the one mod that we have that makes everything a bit more green, but that feels at this stage like cheating. If we'd had that mod from the start, sure, I've got no problem with it. I was actually tempted to install that mod before starting to record the series, but that would feel like cheating at this point. So I just need to optimize things a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and I'm going to come in here and basically clear out half of the trees that we have in this space. And I realize this might seem counterintuitive. This might not seem like the best idea. But the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of these trees are actually not in the radius of the forester anyway. And I've also read that trees generally will grow within about 2 years. So we're clearing out half of the forester's radius, but really it'll be okay. And we also kind of need those logs. So what I'm going to do is, as I've done, mark that for removal, and I'm going to go ahead and prioritize all of it. So I need all of that to be chopped down, moved out, shipped out, and gotten rid of. So we're going to go ahead and get that going, and we're going to speed things up to 10 times normal speed while we do that, because we need the firewood. But that doesn't really solve all of the issues that we're having, because we're also having issues with tools, or at least we will be. We are low on tools. We have 17 of them right now. We have 90 stored iron. And that's another thing that I've been looking into. What's the optimal way to do a blacksmith? And again, I've been reading about that. Now, steel tools require coal. So if we look at our blacksmith, the blacksmith is logs and iron to make iron tools. If we can get coal, we can make steel tools, and they last longer. I don't think they're any more efficient. I think they just last longer. So if we can get steel tools, we generally will need to make less tools overall because they just last longer. But speaking of efficiency, there's a little something that we have to think about there as well. I'm going to look at this trader first. You've got leather. I'm not interested, so you can get out of here. But in terms of efficiency, that's where education comes into play. Because it turns out that an educated worker will get 3 logs per tree that they chop down. An uneducated worker will get 2. An educated woodcutter will get 4 firewood per log, and an uneducated woodcutter will get 3. So education is going to be the key to improving things long term. Now that's probably a 5 to 10 year investment. So the sooner we do that, the better, is my thinking on that particular thing. But also the sooner we start moving towards steel tools, the better. So I'm going to pause again as I've done. And I'm going to come up this way and start looking at building a mine. In fact, I'm going to look at building 2 of these. Because if we put one there, we can have this mine give us coal, and we can have this mine right here give us iron. And then in between those, maybe down here, we could, in theory, build another blacksmith. And I think we will need a second blacksmith. So getting another blacksmith is not a bad idea at all. It's going to mean that we just have more production, which is exactly what I want. But the reason I want the blacksmith to be close to everything is just so they don't have too far to go in terms of, you know, getting their resources. But I want to go one further than that because I've been doing some reading. As I've said several times over, I've been doing some reading, and it turns out that if there are not resources close enough to something like a blacksmith, there's a chance that someone else is going to take it. So right now, if I build a blacksmith right in this corner, the nearest spot for them to get some wood is going to be maybe this market, maybe these stockpiles over here. So why don't I put a couple of stockpiles in this space and build another forester out here? We do need more wood, and I do want to start to automate that as much as possible. So I think that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself another forester. So, well, I'm going to do things an interesting way this time. I'm actually going to go in and clear out all of the resources here first, and then we'll get the foresters. I'm also going to clear all of this out because I do want the stone, and we are going to need a lot of that stone. So we'll clear out as much of that as possible. I'm going to clear a whole bunch of this as well. Basically, this entire space is going to be cleared out, and that's going to give us a massive area to start growing our own forest, which is pretty much what I want to do. So clear everything in there. Everything down around here is getting cleared out. It's going to take a while. We have 19 laborers, and even with 19 laborers, it is going to take a while. And so while all of that's going on, there's another little something I want to focus on. Well, I say that. I also want to clear these trees out of here just because I can. I want to clear these trees out of here and this one out of here. These ones specifically, I want to get rid of because I'm thinking I'm going to put a barn up here. And the reason I want to put a barn here is because I've noticed, well, we can see it right now. It's early winter and we haven't had a full harvest here. So if I have a barn, these farmers can take their stuff into that barn and then they can go be laborers a little bit sooner. And we're also less likely to lose stuff, as we're starting to see, to the weather. So it's kind of a win-win-win if we have a barn up here. I also think it might be a good idea to do a little bit of housing up this way. So we'll do a couple of little paths like that. We'll also get ourselves just a couple of houses up here as well. So we'll go ahead and do maybe this guy, and we'll do exactly the same on this side. And we can even do some stockpiles here. I think that might be a pretty good idea, just in case we have some resources that we want to store up this way. We might have some logs. We might have anything really. We'll just do a couple of small stockpiles. We'll have a couple of small houses, one barn, and that means that the farmers can live up here. They can store their stuff up here, and it's just generally going to be good. I'm also thinking I could probably expand the town out into this space and do another market. That might not be a terrible idea, but we have so much stuff going on right now that I'm really... It's going to take a while. Anything that we want to do is going to take a while. We have all of these trees that still need to be cleared out of here. We have these trees up here. We have all of this space, this huge space that needs to be cleared out as well. This space down here as well. And then that's not even taking into account the fact that I do want to put foresters up here. So I'm tempted to put one here. I wish we could plant trees on those hills, but almost half of this guy's space would be wasted, I think, if I put a forester in there. But I might do it anyway. I might do a forester in there anyway, just to use the space. So let's give it a shot. Let's put a forester right there. And we're going to put a forester pretty much just up here as well. So they might be a little bit too close together. But I'm thinking I'm kind of willing to give it a shot. 2 foresters right there should be totally fine. We're going to want a blacksmith down here as well. In fact, I'm going to do 2 blacksmiths because I'm going to invest in this idea. And I'm also going to invest in the idea that we're going to have a lot of people living here. Each of these mines can have up to 15 people working there. So we are going to need houses in this space for people to live in that also work in the mines. So we'll get these guys right here. We'll get a whole bunch of them. That mine in the background there is actually getting built, which is fantastic news. We might get that a little bit sooner than later, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And I might even go so far as saying that we want to do a market up here. That might be a really good idea. I do want to get a quarry, because a quarry is going to be a source of stone. But I also kind of want a market. And I don't know if I've got the room to do both. If we have a little bit of a look, this is the size of a quarry. So yeah, I'm going to say that a market might not fit in here. Let's see. Where am I building this forester? We have one just there. I mean, I could build the market and then build the quarry up here, so we'd have a source of stone in this area as well. But then if I think about it, we're looking at 15 workers here. We are looking at 15 workers here. That's going to be 30. Plus another 15 from the quarry is 45. Plus 2 from here is going to be 47. Plus 4 from here is 51. Plus 4 from here is the other forester in here is 55. There's potentially space for 55 jobs if I build everything here that I want to build. That might be ridiculous. That might be too much, and I might be getting You know, the thumbnail of the last episode was too much too fast. This might just be insanity. I might be getting way too carried away here. I might be overthinking everything. But I kind of want to try it, man. I really do. I want to see what happens, you know? I kind of want to see what we can do here. So I think I'm going to put a market right there. And I'm going to bring some paths up and around it the way we always do. And then I'm going to see if I can get a quarry. Because we just need the resources. We need that renewable supply. And looking at it, we can absolutely do this. It is going to chop into the forestry area, but I think we're going to do it. We're absolutely going to do it. And here's the thing, we can't get rid of that once it's built. So I might want to be sure about the placement there. I guess I could build it down here. Actually, hold on. Let's think about this. I really want to be sure about it. We could build it down here because we have this forester whose range ends right about there. So if I wanted to get a quarry, we could build it sort of in here-ish, which I'm not really against doing. I don't think that's the worst space in the world for it. We can even move it up this way just a little bit, bring it over just a little bit. I don't mind that. It is going to cut away at the terrain in potentially a bit of a weird way, but I don't mind it at all. I also don't really mind doing something like this. I think that's where I'm going to put it, right about there. So that'll be hopefully a bit of a better spot for the quarry. I'm not really too sure if it will be, but it will, it'll certainly do it's what it'll do. So let's see. Can I get myself a little path along here? I absolutely can. And I want it to be in line with this guy. And you know what? I do think having a path that goes down through this forest would be a really good idea. We have a lot of people that do walk through this forest, so I'll tell you what, let me go and chop out some of these resources as well. We actually do have some stone up around here. They're already, you know, kind of working on it, but let me just chop out a pretty big area. Let me just chop out that space just so that I can, you know, get it done and get people, you know, moving on a path through there. So that'll be our quarry. That'll be our 2 mines. That'll be our market, which is up to, I think, 15 jobs as well. So we have potential here for 70 jobs in this space. And here's me building 8 houses. This, this might be such a bad idea. Oh, I don't know. I'm almost tempted to say that I want nomads. I'm almost tempted to say that I want nomads because I feel like nomads would, I don't know. I feel like nomads would help us out a little bit. We do have 24 laborers and that's good, but we haven't even cleared out this space yet. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think what I will do, given that we have those 24 laborers, is I'm going to look at getting a school. I think it's about time. We have the space for it down here. Every school can have up to 20 students. So the 10 or 11 kids that we have right now, they can all go to school, which will be fantastic. And then, you know, 9 more on top of that. And then eventually they will, they'll become laborers. So we'll go ahead and prioritize this. This is the one thing that I want to prioritize. We'll have 2 builders. We'll have 3 builders since we need 53 of them right now. So we'll get 3 builders. We'll hopefully work on the school quick enough. We should have the resources for it. And then I'm hoping that once everything down this way is cleared out, which again, they're still not done doing. I'm hoping once that's cleared, we can maybe get a lot of stuff done. I'm hoping, well, I mean, we also have the mine being worked on, which is good news. I'm just hoping we can get a lot done. I'm hoping that this is going to be the solution to a lot of our problems. I'm hoping that what we can do is use these foresters to essentially provide wood for these 2 blacksmiths. That's the goal. And then the rest of the foresters can just go straight into firewood. In fact, I'd even be tempted to say that we build another woodcutter down here. So I'd be tempted to say that this guy can exist. And I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if that's a bad idea. I have seen a couple of comments and I've seen a couple of things on forums that say you probably shouldn't have a storage barn right next to the cluster that I have here. So I don't know if that's the truth or not, but at the very least, it's providing food for these guys. So, oh my God, it's a 79-year-old herbalist, a 71-year-old laborer. Oy. All right, well, I think we know what's going to be happening to those 2 soon enough, especially if we don't sort out the firewood problem. And I guess while we're talking about the firewood problem and clicking on houses, something we can do, and again, I've seen this in a couple of the YouTube comments, is we can upgrade to stone houses. And stone houses are going to provide more warmth. They're better insulated. That is something I want to do. Just once again, we don't have the resources for it. So as soon as we get this quarry going, my goal is going to be to just have a bunch of storage, really. Just a bunch of stone in storage. We'll have hopefully a bunch of iron as well. In fact, what we'll do is get ourselves a stockpile right in here. A nice 7x8 stockpile right out front of that guy. We can also do some stockpiles here as well, which I think might be a pretty good idea. So we'll do, what distance can we go up to here? We can go to here. We can do, so that's 11. Let me do 5x6. And can I do a slightly bigger one here? I can. So we'll just do 5x5. We'll have 2 stockpiles right there. And that'll be good for some resources. This guy's actually ready to go, which is very exciting, but I'm going to hold off on getting this quarry up and running just yet, because obviously we kind of need the laborers is what we need. So we'll hold off on that just a little bit. So that's 11 right there. How far back can I go? So let's do 6x5 or 6 by whatever that was. And we'll do this as well. So I have a bunch of stockpiles just around this space. We can do some stockpiles on this side as well. We'll just get a nice big 7x10 stockpile right there. And that's hopefully going to be enough. I mean, it is going to be enough to store everything. That's kind of the goal. We also have a merchant with wool. You can get out of here because I'm not really too interested. And we're now starting to see people complaining about not having tools. I knew this was going to happen. That's totally okay. We also have need for a teacher. So there we go. We now have a teacher. And we now have our first student, Tanjanine. Tanjanine is a student. All right. Ooh, I was not expecting 2 mines to be up and running this quickly. Interesting. You are going to be doing coal. You are going to be doing iron, which you already are. And honestly, I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to let the laborers kind of do their thing. I'm really not too concerned about having them go and, you know, basically start building stuff or work in places. I know that is something I should be concerned about, but I need the raw resources. I want these spaces cleared out. I want all of that stone. I want all those logs. I want all of that iron for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that when I put my laborers to work, they are going to be working in mines. They're not going to be laborers, of course. And reason number 2 is that now that we have students, it is going to take a little while for anybody to go through the education system, to grow up and become a laborer. And so we're gonna need a backlog. We need a backlog of lumber and firewood and all that good stuff. And admittedly, we can use coal as a form of fuel, so people can use that to warm their homes. I would just prefer that they didn't. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm also thinking it might not be a bad idea. I was going to say it might not be a bad idea to get a woodcutter up here, but we have one right down here. So I don't know. I don't know if we need a woodcutter right up this way. And honestly, that woodcutter is just going to take away from the blacksmiths if and when they get built. So I'm going to hold off on that, I think. We are at least doing a really good job of clearing this space out. We do at least have a good supply of logs. We are doing okay. We're hovering around 90 stone, 99 iron. I think, honestly, I might just try and prioritize building one of these blacksmiths as well, if not both of them. I think we'll try and build both of them, and we'll just set them to make iron tools for the time being. Ooh, this is done as well. Fantastic. So this is immediately being filled with a whole bunch of squash, and that's good because these farmers here are just putting all their stuff into that barn. So that is going to help us out with food. We are at just about 17,000 food right now. So despite the fact that we don't have tools, people have firewood and they have food. So that's good. That is a step up from where we started today. It's just that the tools thing is going to compound and get worse and worse and worse, because essentially that's going to make them less efficient. So, I mean, the goal here essentially is to educate them. And then, as we said, an educated worker will give 3 logs per tree versus 2 for uneducated. Educated woodcutters will give 4 firewood per log versus 3 for uneducated. So if we can do that, that'll be better. So educated workers is good. If we can give them steel tools, that's going to mean they can work for longer without the tools needing to be replaced. And I'm just hoping we can pull this off. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm really just hoping we can pull this off. We do have a lot of people starting to die of old age who are needing to be replaced. So we're down to 16 laborers. So I think what I'm going to do, since we're prioritizing construction down here, let's also prioritize just clearing out this space as much as we possibly can. I think I did just prioritize construction in these spaces as well. That's fair enough, I guess. But I just want this cleared as much as possible. We have so much stone. There's probably a little bit of iron in there. All of that wood's going to be super useful. So if we can do this, we'll be in a really good place. Oh, now this is really frustrating. We have a merchant with walnut seeds and wheat seeds. And admittedly, we have a lot of food. It's early spring and we have 18,000 food right now. So in theory, we could probably get a couple of traders. If I go up to 6 traders right now, which it's going to be a temporary thing. If I look at my inventory, we currently have 5,000 pecans. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to bring 2,500 of those down here. I might even bring 5,000 of them and just get the walnut and wheat seeds just to have a bit of a varied diet. But I think we'll stick with the wheat. We'll not get too carried away. And the reason I want those wheat seeds is because we can use wheat, I think, to make booze. I'm pretty sure we can use it to make booze. So once the tavern's actually built, that'll give people a bit of happiness. And that's going to be good because let me tell you, I would really like them to be happier. I'm also going to get us another blacksmith right here. And since this is being built, I'm just going to give us a 3rd blacksmith who's going to be complaining about having nowhere to work right now. But once this is built, they can go straight to work. And hopefully having these 2 extra blacksmiths making iron tools for the time being will help us out. It is going to be consuming a lot of wood, but again, we are going to get a lot of wood from up here. We don't have a lot of iron, which is a bit frustrating, but we'll see how things go. We also have all of those pecans in here, so let me give you 2,500 of those, and I'm going to take your wheat seeds is what I'm going to be doing. So we'll be trading for those. And then I no longer want to keep an inventory of pecan in there at all. And we're also going to bring this down so that hold on a minute, 6. We want to have just 1 trader, which gives us up to 11 laborers, which is absolutely fantastic. We should have our blacksmiths heading out and doing their thing. And these guys are doing a pretty good job of clearing all that stuff out, which is exactly what we're looking for. So hopefully these extra blacksmiths will be able to do good for us. I'm also thinking that once this market's up and going, it will be able to distribute all of the tools to the people. And we have nomads. I was really worried about getting nomads because there's 18 of them. We have got the food for it. We currently have the firewood for it. And I kind of need more laborers because we need to start filling up these mines and the quarries. We have 75 adults right now. There's 18 nomads. How many of them do we think are going to be adults? Ooh, 11 of them. That's actually not bad. So that gives me that's doubled my number of laborers. Okay. I don't know that was a good idea, but it seems like not too many of them. Oh, a lot of them did go into that boarding house. Never mind. I mean, they can go to work. That's the thing. So if I go to here, we have need for 30 miners right now. If I say that I want, I don't know, 10, that's going to be 5 per mine. So now we have coal production. Now we have iron production. That's something, right? That is something. We have got the food production for it. So we should be able to pull this off. We should be able. Oh no, I might have made a terrible mistake. This might be too much too fast, but let me tell you, I think we needed to do it. I'm also admittedly kind of concerned because usually there it is. There's what I was looking for. The second it ticks over into summer, we have 3 kids born. Every time you bring nomads in, within about a season, you'll have a lot of kids get born. I don't know. The pillow talk amongst the nomads is it must be really effective because it happens every single time. I don't know, one person rolls over, looks at the other and goes, whoa, like Mario. And you know, it's just, let me tell you, pillow talk doesn't get much better than that. That's your peak pillow talk right there. That's, oh man. And let me tell you, I'm almost 30 years old. I don't think there's a point in my life that I will ever, oh my God, we just had so many kids born. We're up to 25 kids. The good news with that is that, moving swiftly on, the good news with that is that that's 25 kids that can go through the education system. Admittedly, not all of them will. We only have space for 12 more in here. So what happens is if there's no room in education for someone to go and be a student, they'll just go straight into being a laborer. So we're not going to be educating everybody, is what I mean. And that's kind of just going to be the way of it. That's kind of just the way things are going to have to be. So we're not going to worry too much about it. What I am going to do, though, given that we still have a decent number of laborers, is I'm going to bring a road straight out here, is what I'm going to do. And we might have a bridge go across there at some point, but a road's going to come straight out of there. And then what I'd like to do is I want to get a couple of farm fields. So these are 11 by, I can't do them any bigger than that. Can I do something down here? I want them to be kind of symmetrical. Let's do 7 by 11 on both of these just for now. And we're going to grow wheat in both of these. And what we'll do is get the 2 extra farmers. We can bring these down to only need 1 farmer each as well. So now we need 16 farmers. We have 5 laborers. Man, that's rough. That's really rough. We had 20 something laborers and now we're down to next to none at all. What are you guys complaining about? No iron. Yeah, that'll do it. We do admittedly have the iron mine, so hopefully you can use that for your tools production. And we are down to 26 people without tools. So I think we're starting to be effective? Question mark? I think we're starting to be kind of effective. We're bringing that number of people without tools down a little bit. And then, I mean, look in here, we're 11 students right now. So this is just going to be a weird, this is going to be a difficult phase for Thatcham. That's all this is. It is a difficult phase, but it's a phase. It's just a phase, okay? I said that about my emo phase. It lasted about 10 years, but it was still just a phase. Even if I miss it to this day, even if I still sort of clutch onto it a little bit by growing my hair out every few months, I'm like, man, this is going to be the time that I grow my hair out and I'm going to look like Matt Tuck from Bullet for My Valentine or Matt Heafy from Trivium or like James Hetfield in the 80s, man. This is the time. This is when I'm gonna, that's not emo, I know, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna look like Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon in like 2010. That's gonna be, you know, I joke about that, but I did. I had the fringe, I had the black hair. I went all out. I didn't paint my nails at the time, but you know, I had the black hair. I had the checkered like gloves and wristbands and the studded belts and the everything. All my hoodies were purple. I was wearing Converse with different colored laces and stuff like that. Like I went all out. Ooh, sheep. No, we don't need them. We already have sheep. In fact, speaking of the sheep, this is full. We should get a larger pasture. And that might be something we could do out here, to be quite honest. That might actually be a really good use of this space. We could do a pasture right in here. So let's have a little bit of a look and see just how big we can get with this thing. So we can go up to there, which is pretty good. So let's do 15 by 12. And what we'll do is surround that with a, oh, we can't surround it with a path. All right. Well, in that case, get rid of it. And let's just do the full size. We'll do 15 by 13. That'll be perfectly fine. It is going to take some resources, so I am actually going to pause that since it's not really essential. And we'll see how that turns out. We're up to 31 people without tools now, which again, that's not great, but we're slowly getting there, I think. We're definitely slowly getting there. We have the wheat fields doing their thing. Do we have a tavern yet? I've still got it paused. Let me unpause the tavern because apparently that's important. It does only need 12 stone though, so that's not too bad. And we just had a bunch of people become students. We have room for 4 more, which I'm actually okay with because we have 20 children. So 4 more of those are going to be students, and then the remaining 16 are going to be uneducated laborers, which at this point I kind of need them. So this is the trade-off. This is the balancing act that we're going to have to deal with. Now, let's see. Can I bring a road sort of down here at all? I guess we'll just do this. We'll have it sort of go up and around, and that'll be fine. We have cleared this area out really nicely, to be quite honest. I'm kind of pleased with it. Now, looking in here, we have blacksmiths, miners, and children. Miner, child, forester, student. Okay. Now, the good thing with these guys being students is that in theory, they might work somewhere nearby. I don't really know. I don't really know how it, I guess they might just end up being, I mean, they'll just be laborers, right? But if jobs become available nearby and I assign someone to it, that might, I don't know, that might work out nicely for us. I really don't know. I guess we'll figure it out is what we'll do. Oh, and this is up and running. Good. Can I use wheat for ale? I absolutely can. Oh, I'm really happy about that. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves a brewer, and that'll get us some alcohol, and that'll hopefully make people relatively happy. I'm also fairly sure that this will all go into that barn right there. So here's hoping. We actually do have a harvest going on. So can I click on you and see what you're doing? So you are working and you're heading up here, and we have 100 wheat. There we go. So we're now going to be able to make booze, and I'm hoping that there's no drawback to that. I'm hoping that there's not. Oh, that would be terrible. Well, you've educated everybody. You've given them steel tools. They have firewood, but they're all drunk, so they're not working anyway. That would kind of suck. That might not be a good thing. Ooh. Oh, those peach seeds would be nice. Those steel tools as well, man. 33 of those by 10, so 330 for those. Get me 330. Give me 330 pecans, please, or 330 of something. Where am I looking here? 330 of those. Give me, I've only got 2 laborers, so we're going to have the one trader that we have deal with this. So hopefully the one trader can do that. And if we can do that, I'm going to get those steel tools. I want all 33 of them is what I want. Because we have 40 people without tools. Steel tools, actually having steel tools just by buying them, that's going to give us a really nice buffer. That's going to give a lot of people a lot of ability, and that's going to keep us good for a while. So if we could get, we're at 148 right now. So 148 is obviously 148. I'm hoping that the next delivery is just going to be everything that we need. I think that's our trader right now. That was someone going to a market. I actually have no idea. Is that our trader on the left side there? I think it is coming in. Please tell me 330. There we go. All right, 330. That's 3. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. 330. Make the trade. So now we have all those tools. We should, in theory, we should see everybody go and get some tools. We shouldn't be seeing 46 people without tools anymore, which is exactly what we want. Looking in here, there's nothing right now, but there's that number dropping. That's what I wanted to see. I think they're going down to the barn. Yeah, they are. Oh, that's good. That's really good. That is what we needed. Oh my God. Okay. I'm a little bit happier now. I'm a little bit more content. Yes, there's 17 people still without tools, but I'm pretty sure some of my blacksmiths got tools as well. So that might work out really nicely. We have a bunch of iron laying around here. We have a bunch of iron laying around here. We have this forester up here doing his thing, which is good. So hopefully those logs get brought down to storage here, which they do. We'll have this forester up and running at some point as well, which is going to be great. And so I think we're at about the point where I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to switch one of you guys over to making, we're going to have you try and make steel tools. I will say I'm a little concerned about the fact that this coal is just sitting around and not being moved into stockpiles. I don't necessarily love that, but it is there. We can see it. That's a good amount of coal. So, I mean, here's hoping. I'm also pretty sure 16 students, we have had a couple of people become laborers. So I think we're now starting to see educated workers, which is also amazing news. So if we can keep that trend going, I think we're going to be in a good place. Either way, we are no longer worrying about... Oh, we also need that extra woodcutter. Let's do that. Let's take one of those builders out, so we'll still have 3 laborers. We're no longer worrying about firewood, which is good. We've also managed to regrow most of this. So like I said, it takes about, I think about 2 years for trees to fully mature. And we're still, I'm pretty sure, chopping down a bunch of stuff up here. Yeah, we still have all of these trees to chop down. We still have all of this stone. We just need the laborers for it. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. We have these houses going up as well. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea to prioritize the market, but we don't have the resources for that either. So I think we'll just pause that one. We'll let them keep working on the houses because that's going to keep the population going. And I'm pretty content about this. We still have people living in the boarding houses, which isn't ideal, but there are still, you know, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses to be built here. I don't think that's necessarily going to be enough to get everybody out of the boarding houses, so we might want to build a few more down here. But for the time being, I'm at least content that they're no longer freezing to death. That was kind of my goal. That's what I set out to achieve today, is to get rid of the need for firewood. I mean, we still need it, obviously, but they're not complaining about it. And so I see that as an absolute win. And that's really what I'm here for. I'm here for the dub. So I'm quite content about this. I'm also fairly sure that we can make this into a good thing. Obviously, we are going to need to start moving a lot of this coal around. So we're going to need more laborers for that. But once we get enough laborers to fill up these mines, and once we get enough laborers to fill up this quarry, which is going to be a massive project, it needs a lot of iron to build that thing. I mean, again, that's going to be 45 jobs, but that's going to be a really, really good supply of stone, a really good supply of coal, a really good supply of iron. I mean, we can already see how much coal is sitting around here. So if we could start moving all of that, it would be amazing. And we are also starting to run out of logs a little bit. So if my laborers could get to chopping down the rest of these trees, that would also be absolutely amazing. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them to chop out the rest of all of this. So we chopped out the top part. Let's chop out the bottom part. So all of this can go away. And that'll be another massive influx of logs to the colony. Obviously, we have 10 laborers instead of 20 something, which would be amazing, but we'll get there. We're also at the limit of firewood. Oh my God. Well, that's amazing news. I'll tell you what, I don't want to consume too many logs, but I'm going to bring that up to 1,500. I'm going to bring it up to 1,500. If we hit that limit, we're going to stay there for a while. And then the rest of the logs are just for whatever. We've also filled up the schools, so we have 10 kids that can become laborers right away. We have you with your bean seeds. You can get out of here. I'm not really too interested in those right now. And I guess we're in a pretty good spot. I've got to be honest. I'm pleased. I'm really pleased that we've managed to solve some of this. We also, do we have any alcohol? We don't. All right. You have some wheat in storage though. So, I mean, I guess we're gonna have some alcohol. I guess people are just consuming it quite regularly, which is to be expected. I would expect nothing less. And actually thinking about it, it probably takes a while to make alcohol. So I don't know why I'm expecting them to just turn the wheat into alcohol overnight. That's not really how these things work. It takes time. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I feel like I'm rambling. I am rambling, but I'm pleased. We've managed to do some good stuff here. We're back up to 14 laborers. Bringing in those nomads wasn't a bad idea. I think this production is going to be fantastic. So let's leave it there for today. Let's leave it there while we're ahead is what we're going to do. I think this will be good. We just need to keep on keeping on. We need to keep on making tools. We're back to 38 people without them, but we will get there. This guy has some coal. Are you guys using coal? Yeah, you are. We really need this market. We do. Because the market's going to start distributing stuff as well. It means that these guys aren't necessarily going to be hoarding coal, which is something that we need to stay on top of. So that's the last thing we're doing today, is prioritizing work on that market. So with that in mind, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.